for those of you that want to get married for citizenship, please don't do that.
Don't do it.
When you want to move to another country, they feel like the easiest route
is to get married.
Is to, get married. How do you handle a situation whereby somebody is married here and because they want to move over either to the US, UK, Canada, Europe, and whatever, they left their wife and their children and say that, don't worry, I'm going to travel. When I get there, I'll make out a way for you and my kids to join me because they want citizenship. They get into marriage.
Yes.
Now the wife is here believing that her husband is, trying to settle down to come back and take me. And this is 7 years, 8 years, he hasn't. Those who are married, their wives stay here and the whole lot happen. And then those who are there, who are actually, potential wife, wonderful women that can meet a man, get married, and have a future together, are now scared. Because they don't want to get into a situation whereby the person is actually not coming for love. No. They are coming for citizenship.
Yes. A lot of times we're doing things for something. Marriage was never designed for you to do it for something. If we are getting married to either go to America, to just have a husband, how is that connected to the purpose that God created marriage to be in the first place? So, because you never got married for purpose.
Yeah.
You got married for a thing. And then you start doing anything for that thing, right? You start lying.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to another episode of Real Talk with Pastor Jackie. Like you all know, people call me PJT. And I am here so happy to have a wonderful friend, a sister, a doctor, a therapist, everything you can think of. I'm so excited to have her with me in this episode, and it will be an exciting moment. Stay tuned, listen to us. We have something you will love to hear. Please, doctor, may we meet you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Lavonya Douglas. I am from the Washington, D.C. area. I grew up in Virginia, Maryland, D.C., and I have been in Abuja, Nigeria for 3 weeks now, and I've been having an amazing time.
So what do you do, ma'am?
What do I do? So I worked in community corrections for 23 years in Washington, D.C., which is working with people that come home from prison. I also, I'm a therapist, but I don't practice therapy because I decided that I wanted to work with organizations. So now I'm an organizational leadership psychologist and a luxury leadership globetrotter. And you probably never heard of it before because I made it up. And so I also make up lots of things. And so when we think about luxury, a lot of times we think of nice things and all that. I do like nice things, but luxury for me is peace. And everywhere I go, it's peaceful. I keep peaceful people around me. And if you disturb my peace, you have to leave. And so, yeah, those are just a few of the things that I do.
Thank you. Now, talking about leadership, can you tell me a little how leadership can, make impact in a family and marriage? How important is leadership?
Wow. Okay. So can we rewind for a second?
Okay.
Yeah, because when we think about leadership, the first thing that comes to my mind is ourselves.
All right.
And how we lead ourselves. So how you lead yourself is then how you lead your family, how you lead your children, husband and wife relationship. And so it's about knowing yourself. Yesterday, listen, you preached about identity and knowing yourself.
Yeah.
And you can't lead properly until you know who you are. And so one of my missions in the world is to help women, men too, right? Because they can learn too, but help women know who they are, what is their purpose in life, and then how do they make an impact and who they're supposed to make an impact on. So.
Well, on Saturday we had a meeting and you were there and you said something, that shook me. You say that you can be in the same field, doing the same thing with other people, and yet no competition. Now, how can a husband and a wife who live together, and probably maybe both of them are bankers, doing the same, they're having the same job, the same career, and they are married as husband and wife, and when she goes to the office, she's a boss. And he also is a leader. And when he comes back home, he's a husband and she's a wife. How can they complement and not compete with each other?
That is such a beautiful question. So one of the things in life, if your mindset is about how do you add value. So when you think about husband and wife, you're adding value to each other. So there's no competition in the value that you're adding, because a lot of times when you think about how you receive love, we receive love differently. We don't receive love the same. So some like physical touch, some like acts of service, some like different things. And so as husband and wife, when you know each other, because women can be bosses at work.
That's it.
But when you come home, listen, I want to live the soft life.
That's
okay?
right.
I don't want to be a boss at home. You do your thing. What you need, right? So it's also knowing your role in the home. And so you're not going to operate as you would as in the bank. If you're the boss, you're not going to operate the same way as the home. I personally believe that the man is the head of the household, right? But the women complement him. The reality is men can't survive without women. And
that's right. You hear that?
And God created us both to complement each other.
Exactly.
And so if our mindset is to complement each other, there's no competition. And then you live your life, even in business, with not competing with others.
Yeah.
You're complementing each other. So anybody you're connected to, you should complement, not compete with.
Yeah. Okay, now, we're here. This is Real Talk, and I want you to be as real as you can. This is Africa.
Yes.
And in Africa, if you're not married, it seems you're not complete. And so a lot of us in Africa were groomed that when you come to a certain stage, the next thing to do, the next success you should achieve is marriage. Now, there are a lot of girls out there who are in Africa, who are not married and feel like, no, life is not complete yet. I'm not fulfilled because I'm not married. But here you are. Taking the whole world, moving all over, enjoying yourself, doing your thing, being so real. One of the things that attracted me to you is the fact that you're so confident of who you are. And then anything that is going to give you negative energy, negative vibe, you draw the boundary. When you said that, I'm like, this is the key. Now, how can you please help me talk to the women out there, especially the Christian women who feels that marriage is what makes you fulfilled? We talk to them to know that there's more life and there's more to gain. There's more success to achieve in life than just getting married.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So there's so much. I feel like we should have a class to teach people because, listen, so when you think about the purpose, and a lot of times, I think Miles Monroe said, when you don't know the purpose of a thing, you abuse it. And so a lot of times women don't know their value. They don't know the purpose. They don't know why God created them. So you mentioned culture, and culture tells you. And a lot of times people only tell you what they know. They only tell you what they have the capacity of, what they've experienced. So if you don't have entrepreneurs in your family, they're not going to promote that because they just don't have it. So it's like when you know better, you do better. And so when you think about the Proverbs 31 woman and all the things that she did, she went out and found the land and purchased it. She makes garments. Like, she was doing the thing. So she wasn't just waiting for the man to come around. Like, she had all these things that she was doing. Yeah. Now, I'm not a sewer. I'm not sewing nothing, but we all have gifts. We all have things that we can do and create. And so you have to know what your personal gifts are. And you have to pay attention to yourself. And if your focus is always on finding a man or the man finding you, or you're not complete, you're not going to live the life that God has created for you because you're so focused on somebody else bringing you joy. And the reality is you can bring yourself so much joy by finding yourself, doing the things that you like. What do you like to eat? What movies do you like? Because when you get married, then you got to watch the movies they like. You got to eat the food they like. They have suggestions. Don't you want to wear this? No, I don't want to wear that.
Thank you.
But when you're in your singleness and learning yourself and developing yourself, so that when you do get married, you know who you are and you're coming into the relationship complete. He's coming into the relationship complete. So then you complement each other. And again, that's where there's less competition because you're confident in who you are. And when you're confident in who you are, nobody can tell you who you are.
Wow. So it's all about first
Yes.
knowing you.
Knowing yourself.
Before
Everything
you know the
starts
man.
with- yes.
Oh, thank you.
If you don't know yourself, then you just become what he wants you to be.
Thank
Imagine.
you.
Then you're
Thank you.
miserable because you're becoming what he wants you to be because you don't know who you are. You're not going to enjoy your life. You're actually going to be miserable. I promise you.
Miserable. Well, there's another thing I would really like
Yes.
you to share with us. You know, I don't really believe in these, but a general notion where, you know, there's this belief that men are logical and women are emotional. Now you are in the field of leadership.
Yes.
There's no how you will succeed as a leader if you don't have logic reasoning.
Yes.
Now you can see how, you know, this is not as real and as truthful as the world has painted it. Because if, you know, women are emotional, that means all you should ever be doing is being just emotional.
Imagine.
But I've seen how successful you are in the area and the place of leadership. So that means men are actually not the logical one and women are not just, you know, the emotional one. Because if you are all about emotion, then you should be crying every day.
All the time.
Because obviously as a leader, people will definitely do so much to affect you. So now it is not left for you to know who you are. So how can you help me talk to that woman out there who believes that she is not logical? All that God created her to be is to be emotional. And then to the man out there also, who is a family man or who wants to get into marriage, who believes that women are emotional. So he's going into the marriage with the mindset of, I am here to just be bringing logic reasoning. So when the wife hurts her, how is he going to take it? When his emotions are tampered with, how will he handle it? When he has already been engineered to be logical and the wife also has been engineered to be emotional. So how can you help me bring a balance to this, especially again to those listening to us who want to get married and those who are already married?
So it kind of goes back to what people tell you. And so men being logical, women being emotional, it's like they accept the role and they sit in it. And so they don't do the things they need to do to develop the skills, right? Because in anything that you do, you have to develop the skills. So there's courses like emotional intelligence, conflict resolution. How do you handle conflict? And it's not about man or woman. It's about how God created you. All men and women think differently, right? So some men are not as logical as other men. Some men are more emotional than other men. So it's not a gender thing. It's of how God created you thing. And again, knowing it and being able to manage it. So there are a lot of, well, I've noticed since I've been here that there's a way that some men talk to women.
Exactly.
And in my mind, I wish you would. Right. And that's what I think in my mind. Who are you talking to? And so a lot of times I want to say that to them, but I'm an outsider, so I'm just observing. And in my mind, I'm like, I wish they would talk to me like that. Because there's a way to respect people. And so again, when you think about what you've grown up with and what you've observed, it becomes an acceptable behavior. Doesn't mean that it's right. And so even as a father, you have to love your children. You have to hug your children. You have to, a lot of times you show the daughters how men should treat them. And if the men is not showing their daughter, like there's emotion even in that. So there's no black or white. You have to really, and if you don't know, build your capacity. There are books, there are courses. How do you communicate? How do you, because they say men don't cry. So because they say men don't cry. So they don't even know how to manage their emotions because they're holding them in because they don't want to look weak or they don't want to look that, if you're emotional, then you look weak. And that's not true. And so you, again, can't be all that God created you to be if you don't learn how to manage the emotions that you have. He gave us these emotions for a reason, but what do you do with them? And how do you, a lot of times the emotion brings awareness to something that's happening on the inside of you. Right? So if you're angry, something happened. Why is this bothering me? And digging down deep into what is happening. But we are living lives where there's no intention. We just show up where somebody tells us to show up. You get a call, it's an emergency. And so there's no structure in your lives. And so you're running all around. So you don't even have time to process your feelings and your emotions because you're not being intentional about your day. And so again, we should probably have a whole university. Where we train men, we train women, then we train them together, and they have to complete a whole course before they're allowed to get married. Where they have an assignment, maybe some practical application things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now talking about, culture.
Yeah.
You're coming from another culture entirely. And I've seen this, happen severally. I don't know whether it's happened to you, but I've seen this, I've heard it, and it has happened literally to so many. Now, when people are coming from two different continents to get married, how do you cope? How do you navigate? Because I had a friend, like you from US, and we're talking the other day, and there's also another friend, and we're, trying to be real. This is real talk. Now, and two other people there. Now, like my ex-husband molested my daughter sexually. And by the time I got to know, the girl has really grown up and, a whole lot of things. She has to go through therapy. She has to, go through a real emotional and mental health healing before she could be able to get herself. And the next thing my friend from US asked was like, so how did you handle it? And she said, well, since everything is settled and we're able to cope and everything, thank God, the girl is healed. She's in the university now. So, and she was like, so are you still married to the man? Because she was actually giving us her experiences, the emotional abuse she's still going through in the marriage, and even sometimes physical abuse. And she was like, yeah, I'm still there, because of my children.
Wow.
I don't think I will really want to walk out of the marriage.
Wow.
And my friend from US, like, he abused your daughter. He's physically abusing you, emotionally abusing, and you're still sitting down there. You know what I'm going to do in America? I'm going to carry a gun and I'm going to kill him right there. And now here's another incident so that I can put everything together.
Yes.
I have this other friend whose daughter grew up in Europe. Her mother is in Africa, and she came from Europe to have a vacation with her mother. Now, the day she came, after some time, her mother got into an argument with her stepfather. Okay. And she couldn't take it. So she went and stood up to him and said, you don't talk to my mother like that. And in the heat of the argument, the man pushed her. The next thing she did was that she tried to call 911. The first thing is that there was no 911 in the country. Then secondly, out of her rage and anger, she took her car and then drove to the police station and said, see, he's assaulting me. I want you to come pick him up. And the next thing the police was like, you are not respectful. You are not ashamed. You are fighting your own father. And she was like, I don't understand. I'm telling you that somebody violated my right. And like, there's no right here. Wow. Your father is your father. He must be respected. You must obey. The fact that he's married to your mother, you should respect him. In fact, for standing up to him, you are very disrespectful. Wow. So you can imagine, how do you cope, in all this mix-up? Culture, background, upbringing, and a whole lot. How do you manage it?
Let's go back to the first scenario.
Yeah.
Well, no, combine. This is a mindset thing.
Yeah.
And so unless you shift your mindset, not to what you were raised to believe, but what you feel like is right.
Exactly.
And if we live our life based on biblical principles and not culture, the Bible says that we're supposed to love, right? And it gives you clear instructions on what love looks like. Yeah. Love is kind, love is patient. So if you're not displaying the what's described in the Bible, we might need to revisit how we're showing up as love. Yeah. It also has like the fruits of the Spirit. I feel like the Bible has all the things that you need on how you should engage and treat people. Yeah. And so culture will tell you it's okay to do these things, or because it's accepted in the culture doesn't mean it's okay.
Thank you.
And so when I'm listening to you, I mean, it's real talk. So a couple years ago, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I was married to a Nigerian, which is where like I feel like I'm called to the women in Nigeria because I can feel, I know what it feels like to shift from knowing who you are to being oppressed to being depressed and then coming out of that and then flourishing, right? Yeah. And also not taking it as it's the whole country that is like this. It's this one person. And so there are good people in the world. There are good Nigerians in the world. It's like, it's just who are you interacting with? Who are you meeting? Who are you keeping in your circle? And so I know what it feels like to feel like there's no way out. But because of what I believe for myself, I wish you would, like, he would do stare downs with me. Like, I would, like, look away or something. And so I would stare right back. He must have forgot. I worked with criminals for 20 years by the time I had met him. So I'm like, I'm with it. Let's go. Like, there was even one point he put his hands on me and I had to remind him. I'm not, no, you got the wrong one.
That is it.
Listen. And so I get it. But I made a decision to leave, right? Because I'm like, God didn't call me to live like this.
Thank you.
One time he said something. He said, this is the best that it's going to get, so you just got to live with it.
Wow.
You must not know who I am.
Wow.
I can show you better than I can tell you. And so, yeah, I went and filed for papers, and I was divorced in 3 months. We weren't even married longer than a year. So,
wow.
They will give you what they want you to see. And then when you see it's completely opposite of, and then he was trying to take me away from my family. He was causing all these rifts between, even with me and my daughter. Like, he would say things like, your daughter's going to be the cause of us not working out. What?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What? And so it was like small things like that. You know, he would say things about my family. And it was just him trying to separate me from the people that I was closest to so that he can have power and control over me. And so I get it, but you have to have, who are you? It goes back to who you are. And because when we think about our children and the men negatively impacting our children, they will live with that for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
So if we accept this behavior for ourselves, then we're teaching our daughters and our sons, this is how you treat people, especially if you stay. Now, no judgment, but my God, if you stay in that relationship, you were telling your daughter, it's okay for these things to happen. You can go to therapy. I'm a therapist. I believe in therapy. But if you are staying, you are the example. As parents, we are the example to the people that are watching us. It doesn't matter what you say, you are the example. And so, but again, changing your mindset, changing your paradigm is also work, because while you're changing, there's people around you that are not.
Exactly.
So they're going to look at you like you crazy. What's wrong with you? And you might be the outsider. Yesterday you talked about isolating yourself and being alone. And that may be what you need to do to find yourself, because everybody's not trying to find themselves. So you have to be the unicorn, and what everybody else is doing, be unique, be yourself, so that you can find yourself, so that you can be all that God has created you to be.
This is awesome, this eye-opening. So you heard her very well. Don't marry an American, marry the man. Don't marry a Nigerian, marry the man. The same thing goes to you as a man. Don't marry an American. Don't marry, a British. Marry the woman, because there's so many things, diverse culture, traditions that may bring conflict in your marriage. But when you marry the woman, just like you say, marry the personality. And that goes to you, this is real talk. For those of you that want to get married for citizenship, please don't do that.
Don't do it.
That happens a lot.
It does happen.
I mean, when you want to move to another country, they feel like the easiest route
is to get married.
Is to, get married. Now, this is going to be controversial, but then this is real talk. Now, how do you, it just came to me now. How do you handle the situation whereby, because I have had a whole lot to deal with. And it's so complicated because somebody is married here, and because they want to move over either to the US, UK, Canada, Europe, and whatever, they left their wife and their children and say that, don't worry, I'm going to travel. When I get there, I'll make out a way for you and my kids to join me. And the next thing, because they want citizenship, they get into marriage.
Yes.
Now the wife is here, believing that her husband is, trying to settle down to come back and take me. And this is 7 years, 8 years, he hasn't. And, it's so, why I had to bring it on? Because it's becoming so, how do I put it now? Painful. Because apart from the fact that it's bring, dysfunction to the marriage, the children grow up, missing the most vital part, of parenthood. Their father is not there, mother is not there. So they literally grow up for 7 years, either with a single parent. Now, while the thing, get me more concerned is the fact that apart from the fact that these people are living, separately because of this, it has also affected women from your own part of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had friends, who have talked to me.
Yeah.
And they told me, look, Jackie, we love Nigerian men. If you have any good man in your church, that's okay. We could get married. And here I'm thinking, and I remember a particular one, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, she wants to get married. I think I know this guy. He's good, but then it's not in my place to make you marry the man. So I told both of them, get to know each other and see how this will go. And Americans, they are real talker like me. And they got talking, and one day, do you know what she said? She said, in your country, you are scammers. Oh! So I want to be I want to be sure you are not coming to get married to me because a Nigerian American passport. How do I know? How do you prove to me that you truly and genuinely love me?
Wow.
And as funny as this is, it's actually true.
It is true.
Because we have seen a lot like that. So both ways, this thing has a big way of affecting family. Those who are married, their wives stay here and the whole lot happen. And then those who are there, who are actually, potential wife, wonderful women that can meet a man, get married, and have a future together, are now scared. Because they don't want to get into a situation, just like you talked about that yourself, whereby the person is actually not coming for love. No. They are coming for citizenship. Yes. So how can you, advise both the men that are running for the passport and the women, who are in America, who have whatever it takes to fall in love and are afraid. And then for the wife, who is abandoned here, waiting for her husband to come. How do you advise this set of people?
Oh my gosh. It's like 3 different prescriptions though,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So when I think about just all 3, in like a general thought, it's a lot of times we're doing things for something. Marriage was never designed for you to do it for something.
Wow.
It was designed to bring a man and woman together to reproduce, whether it's children, businesses. The goal is to have an impact and bring people to Christ.
Yeah.
If we are getting married to either go to America, to just have a husband, how is that connected to the purpose that God created marriage to be in the first place? So the intentions are wrong. So of course the marriage is gonna be toxic, wrong, and jacked up. You're gonna be cheating on each other. I mean, it's just gonna be a hot mess because you never got married for purpose. Yeah. You got married for a thing, right? To get something. And then you start doing anything for that thing, right? You start lying. Like, you start making up stuff. Ask me how I know. Okay? Yeah.
So how do you know?
Listen, the man that I married me for papers, right? I found out after the fact.
Wow.
And I was like, so he was like, because he yelled a lot. And I was just like, I'm not going back and forth with you. You really have the wrong one. So he was sitting at his desk one day trying to fill out the paperwork. What is your address? What is your social security number? And I'm just sitting there quiet like, is this man really think that I'm going to give him this information? He going to file the paper so that he can get a citizenship and I'm going to go through with it? And so like they get so angry because the desire was not to marry me. The desire was for the papers. So you're agitated and irritated because I'm not doing what you said to do, but I never married you for papers in the first place. You told me you had papers, and if things don't work out when your intentions are wrong, it just does not. You can manipulate people, you can lie, you can do all the things, but I promise you, you will be miserable in the end because you can't treat people wrong. You can't lie, you can't do all these things. And for the women that are still here, and your husband's in America saying that they're because some of that might be true.
Yes,
right. It's not even like everybody that went to America isn't bringing their family, because some people are.
Yeah.
But again, if your intentions are wrong and you can't contact him, or he's always talking about he's tired or I don't have service. We got good service in the U.S., so that's the lie, right? And so the behavior shifts, patterns change, and we have discernment. We do, but we ignore it.
Yeah.
We see red flags, but we ignore it. We accept the things because we really don't want to know the truth. Because a lot of times, if we're dependent on that man, then we feel like I can't go because I have the children, or he's paying the bills, but you are miserable. You can't sleep. You're depressed. You're like, I was talking to a young lady yesterday. She was actually engaged to a Nigerian. She found out she was cheating. I mean, he was cheating on her with multiple women in Nigeria. Wow. And she's like devastated. I'm like, girl, he didn't save your life. Imagine if you hadn't married him, right? So now it's time. She's like, I'm depressed. I'm in my room. I'm just ordering takeout and drinking whiskey. I said, girl, put the bottle down. Exactly. Okay? Get up, read a book. Wow. Like, what is it that you want to do? You have so many skills. You can't be focused on this man. She's like, I gave him all this money. It's gone. Wow. He has all the resources. So we're not focused on the money that's gone. Figure out how you can make more. What skills do you have? Focus on yourself. Exactly. She was like, I just need some time to heal. No. Healing starts when you start doing things for yourself. And so again, it goes back to yourself. What are you doing? What are your skills? What is your purpose? What did God give you to do that's not connected to that man? Because if you are with the right person, you will build together. I promise you will build. In any relationship that you have, and it's friends, you're building together. I had a friend one time, she was like, you're not a good friend because you don't want to come to my house and eat sandwiches and play with her kids. Girl, I'm not eating sandwiches and playing with your kids on a Saturday. I got stuff to do. I got a world to change. So even if you're thinking about who your friends are, so all relationships are important. And even for the women that are here, find circles of women that are building businesses, that are doing things. Who are you spending your time with? Wow. Who is pouring to you and who are you pouring into? If you're depleted, you're not going to be creative. You're not going to have an imagination because you're just surviving. So you have to get in a place where you're taking care of yourself so that you can use your brain. You can create. You can, right? Like I say that there's magic that happens when people come together and are building things. Because, and it's not something that you can do by yourself. God didn't create us to be alone. So you have to be with the right people so that you can create magic together. I always say I want to create magic every day because it's so fun. And when you start creating magic, you don't want to stop creating magic. So you just want to stay with the people that help you create magic. Because it is amazing. So, create magic. I'm going to start that from tomorrow. Just wait for my magic. Come on, magic. You will see a lot. Well, to almost the last question now. You know, we talk about tradition in Africa and the culture. There's a role this play, especially on the Christian woman. When you're growing up, like I told you earlier on, you're being groomed to become a wife. And then you've been indoctrinated on patient, stay for your children, and all, which are quite good. It helped me in some ways. And also helped me to become more knowledgeable, more mature, and to learn how to draw my boundaries and all the stuff. Now, you can imagine a woman who's been taught to go through it all, no matter how painful it is. And now she gets married and she's in the church, and she ran actually to the church because she couldn't cope with the abusive marriage. Wow. She actually ran to church to seek refuge, to, seek comfort. And the moment she gets to the church and she's trying to express herself and like open up and I don't think I can go on with this again. I don't know how more I can endure this. And the next thing, she hears nobody's trying to really encourage her. Nobody is trying to give her the real answer. And they're telling you, got her divorce. So don't even think about it. So she's stuck in the middle of nowhere. I'm coming from where I cannot go back to, and I'm running to where you're telling me, if it is me leaving the man, God hates it. So don't even. So what should such a woman do when she finds herself in that mix and complication? My God. So there's also scriptures in the Bible that identifies why it's okay to get divorced. And when I always think that God created us for something.
Yeah.
He created us for a purpose. And if you're not fulfilling your purpose, then something is out of alignment. And I don't believe God wants us to stay in marriages that are out of alignment, that we don't fulfill his purpose that he has for us in our lives, just not to get divorced, right? There are men that are physically abusing women that wind up, I used to work in the domestic violence unit at my job, where women were getting beat every day. They would lose their lives and they would stay specifically because the Bible hates divorce. So people are losing their lives. Exactly. They're walking around with black eyes because God hates divorce. Are you living your best life when a man is punching you in your face? No. You're not. You can't. You are surviving, so you can't do anything else but survive. Like you're trying to, like, how can I not make him angry today? How can I? And the reality is, it's not even you. He has issues, which is why he's putting his hands on you. And so, if he's not dealing with those issues, he's going to keep doing those things. Yeah. So when we think about religion, it's about relationship. It's not about the rules that we're following. And God, when you really saturate and sit with God for hours. When I was going back and forth about getting divorced, I was working from home at the time. I would just sit and listen to preachers. I would read books. It was like I was at a conference for 2 months straight trying to figure out, what am I doing? What am I like? And so I built up confidence. I remember somebody called me and was like, and I'm telling them, one of my family members is like, oh, it's going to be okay. Just stay. I've already made up my mind. God has given me peace to leave. And so while other people will tell you to stay, because people did tell me to stay, no, because, and now look at me. Imagine if I had to stay. And so you have to really spend time with God. And a lot of times people say that. Yeah. But when we think about practical application and how do you get from point A to point B, there are practical things that you have to do that might make you uncomfortable to figure out where God is leading you to go so that you're comfortable in the decision. Because there are people going to be around you that's going to tell you not to. Even your pastor might tell you not to. He might say because God hates divorce. But what are the motives behind? You punching me in my eye, you telling me to stay? No, something ain't right.
Thank you.
Something right.
Well, final word to that man and that woman, who's listening to you now. You've said so much about self-discovery. You've said so much about leadership development, knowing your purpose, and so much. Now, to the woman who is listening to us right now, how can you help them? And to the man also, who need to understand how to adapt to the changes that the wife is going to learn, how will you also help him?
Yeah, so I'm a leadership coach. And so one of the things that I do is coach people, which is one of the reasons why I decided not to do therapy. Therapy kind of takes you back to why you are the way that you are. Coaching helps you give you practical steps. First you do this, then you do this. Okay, that didn't work out. Let's talk about. So being able to find yourself takes work because it also takes a lot of self-reflection, which can be very uncomfortable at times. And so we're there to kind of work through it together. So I offer coaching not only for women, but also for men, because it's a paradigm shift for both. Yeah. And you have to change your mindset for both in order to be able to move forward, not even necessarily to be married, but just to be the best you. And then the person, your partner, will come. And so I also offer coaching services. You can follow me at Luxury Leadership Globetrotter. You can just Google Dr. Lavonya Douglas. I have a couple different podcasts. I have the Unregulated Leadership Podcast, which focuses on organizational development, and then the El Bookie Show, and that is about relationships, personal development, and lifestyle.
Thank you so much.
This is such a great conversation. Oh my God.
I enjoyed myself. I love it.
Thank you for having me. So you
heard her. Please go look for her. Every Nigerian woman in that church. Look for her. These are the women we need in the church. This is real talk. Don't listen to your pastor's wife alone. Go and meet professional coaches. Your pastor's wife is a mama that knows Bible. After Bible, what else does she have to offer you? You only go to get what she can offer you. But if you sit down and she keeps telling you prayer and fasting, you're on your own. This is a woman to follow. She inspired me a lot. And one day I'm trusting God to be like her. Hallelujah. So thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Excited to have your Real Talk.
Yes, thank you.
And hope to have more and more of you again.
Yes, thank you.
So this is Real Talk with PJT. I hope this makes sense today. See you some other time.
Bye.
PJT. Real Talk with PJT. Pastor Jackie Talena.